let's take a furious bite size to the furious. I wanted to talk about this movie for a long time, but you notice I'm wearing the same clothes from the Disclosure Day vlog that I did, and that's because right after I made my vlog out of Disclosure Day, I decided to talk about the other movie that I wanted to watch, which is The Furious. The biggest curiosity that led me to watch this movie is that the first few impressions that I got from other reviews is that it was being critically acclaimed and it's like 100% on the Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know if it's still like that but the reason why I decided to make it a kind of like a vlog, a short one, is because, well, there's nothing much to talk about this because, my God, this movie was so entertaining. If you really love martial arts movies, this movie, it gives you a better time than, well, Disclosure Day, and even better time than, well, Master of the Universe. I'm sorry, I know that people like that movie, but not me. I'm sorry to say this, but yeah, there's nothing much to say about The Furious because it doesn't try to be much of a grand scope. It's just a martial arts film, which is about this mute Chinese martial arts guy who he's kind of like a handyman. He has a daughter who trains her to do kung fu, but she's kind of skeptical out of it because she feels a little bit distant to him, even though they clearly love each other. It's just that she has kind of her doubts. That is until she gets kidnapped by children human traffickers, and basically it kind of turned into a rescue mission. The guy who is played by this actor, let me see the name of the guy, Mao Xie. He goes on the lookout for the bad guys that he recognizes, and he's very much a killing machine, much like, well, The Furious says. And at the same time, he teams up with another guy who was also doing undercover and looking for information about that human trafficking ring, because he's also on the lookout for his missing wife, who just like him is a journalist who wanted to expose the whole criminal operation, but then she disappeared, so he wants to find her whereabouts. And he's also very skilled at fighting, let's say. So there's nothing much to say about it, but this is kind of like the typical martial arts film that it has, the simple plot about good guys fighting the bad guys, and good guys being skilled enough to beat up the bad guys. And it does serve it. This is more kind of like a martial arts spectacle that, if you look closely, doesn't feel very much kind of like artificial. It feels it's just there to just enjoy the martial arts. And there's a little bit of comical things here and there, and it does have a little bit of heart when you see kind of like scenes of a father who is worried about his child, the guy who also wants to find his wife, and also the daughter who is trying to rally the other prisoners, even though the other prisoners, especially one child who has no faith in adults and all this stuff. And of course, you got all the typical things that you have in these kind of movies. Like, for example, we got the ringleader. We got the big Abobo guy. The kind of like this bald guy who is very strong, ridiculously strong. Who kind of looks like a Chinese Curly from the Three Stooges. We got the corrupt cops also. There's and of course lots of bruising. This movie has blood, and boy, that I'll tell you that a lot of the action scenes really drag. So don't expect too much about it, because this is what the movie does. What it does do. It's just martial arts, and boy, that they kick ass. And a lot of it kind of like hurt, and you see the characters hurting. They feel defeated when they get hit in vital spots. They bleed. They bleed, of course. And well, also you might kind of say that the pacing can get a little bit off because it kind of comes in a moment in which it feels like a climax, but then we jump down to an extra minutes of fighting, let's say, just to close things up. How much this movie? It's an hour 53 minutes. But despite anything, I don't think that this movie was boring. It's just, I just kind of like just admire the martial arts for what it is. So I think that maybe 100% of Rotten Tomatoes is kind of like a bit of an exaggeration, but it was hell of an entertaining. So I will say that I give it kind of like a high recommendation if you're kind of like a fan of those kind of films.